That's okay, Glacier. Take a step down. Take a step down.
A little scary. A little scary.
A little scary. Okay, yeah. Don't pull me off the ladder. Okay, I want you to. Yeah, okay. Can you do it without? Yeah, there you go. You need to go another one. Can you? We got some company. Hey there, how are you guys? Come on in. Welcome to Rupert's Kids. This is our office here in Shelby County, where we are working with the detention center and home detention, probation and parole, showing how we take our young men and women, work them in the community, teach them some of the trades, and get them out of the system and out of our pocket, saving thousands of dollars with every client. We've got our office here. As you can see, we're a little crowded and it's a little cluttered. We're dealing with in the last 3 years, 33 participants plus, gosh, another dozen or so people from the community that just need a hand now and then, that just need an hour or two. This, our licensed clinical master degreed social worker, all her degrees on the wall. We are very, very lucky to have such a qualified social worker. We would never be able to afford her if she wasn't my mom. Makes it very nice. If we even pay her a tenth of what she should be getting, we're lucky. But being able to give the community the ability to help themselves. Georgette and I, our social worker, Georgette and I, along with our team, empowering our young men and women that are coming out of the detention center. In this place, in this office, this is where we help break the cycle of people living in the system, help break the cycle of people living on the entitlement programs, help create a scenario where we're empowering people and they go off and on their own and take care of themselves. We've been working the last couple of years on our new place. So that's just right next door. That's attached here to this building. Let's go over and see that. Back in the late 80s, when I was working in the institutions down in Texas, I realized our system was getting to a point where it worried more about the documentation than the quality of life. It worried more about covering your own behind instead of giving of yourself and giving quality of life. I ended up leaving the institutions and moving back to Indiana, taking care of my adoptive grandparents in 1990. That's when they started eliminating the vocational education out of the high schools. That's when they started bringing in the zero tolerance and the 3 strikes and you're out. And they started throwing young men and women out of school at 13, 14, 15 years old and not letting them attend until next semester. I'm sorry, but the vocational, the industrial hallway is what kept me in high school. We don't need to be eliminating them, we need to be building more. In 91, we said if the schools are not going to worry about the young men and women that aren't making it in education, the private sector better. We created the first program we ever had, Kids Hope, Kids Helping Other People Exist, incorporated that in 91. That was our first nonprofit. We worked with juveniles out of the Marion County Detention Center, started in Hamilton County, but moved quickly into Marion County. and worked with them for 12 years, had busloads of young men and women coming to us. Showing that you can take someone that's never made a legal dollar and teach them how, and they never want to give it up. Teaching 12-year-olders that if you're not going to make it in education, you better make it in vocation, and giving them direction and focus. Teaching people how to take care of themselves. In 2003, when I went into Survivor, I didn't realize what was happening exactly. My phone number, my address was still in the phone book. People would show up at our front door. Some wonderful person out there bought RupertBoneham.com and .org, Kids Hope, Kids Helping Other People Exist, and tried to sell them to me for $100,000. I told them keep it. I dissolved Kids Hope and incorporated Rupert's Kids that day. A month later, I won $1 million in All-American Tribal Council. 34.5 million votes I got in 72 hours. It was crazy. But we then had the dollars behind us to hire lawyers and accountants, to rent office space, to make our program even bigger. The feds, instead of taking years to get our nonprofit status back, it took us months. We incorporated as Rupert's Kids. We bought Rupert B, Rupert's Kids, Rupert everything we could. Program never stopped. Program's name just changed. And we aged our program up when we were going for our nonprofit status for the second time. The feds actually came to us and said there are so many programs for minors. There are very few programs in that transition period. That 17, 18-year-old young man or woman to that 21, 23-year-old. Very few programs. We aged our group up a little bit. We work with young adults and youth. Like I say, we started back in the early 90s with our children, and we're still here, gosh, 2016, showing how the community can help itself.
Well, I've had felonies since I was 19 years old, and around here it's hard to get a job with felonies, and I just need work. And I didn't know much about Rupert when I started here. Like I never watched Survivor or nothing. And then when I started working here, he kind of helped me come out of my shell because I was real stuck to myself, didn't talk to nobody.
It's helped me through my rough times. And now I feel like I have more support than I did before. Like Rupert's helped me a lot.
And stuff, he helped me get work ethic, and I came for a job, but it turned into more like helping me find myself and stuff, and all that helped me get back on track and stay out of trouble.
I was released from Shelby County Jail back in July. Like Rupert said, I was the one that had a few $1,000s at the time, and just trying to survive, spending, over $400 a week to pay my house arrest fees and just a place to stay in a hotel. Ended up running out of money very, very quickly. And it got to the point where, they were telling me if I didn't have a place to go, they were sending me back to jail for 16 months. It got bad enough to the point, between all that and not being able to see my daughter and things like that, I ended up getting hospitalized for suicidal tendencies. When I got out, that's when, while I was in there, actually, is when I got in contact with Rupert. And when I came out of the hospital, he's the one who pretty much gave me a place to go and showed me that I can still do this. I can make it past this point.
I've learned a little bit of mason, some carpentry, some plumbing.
From the times that I was there, I've learned how to like set countertops. I've learned how to set cabinets, lower and upper cabinets, plumbing, flooring and linoleum. Just a lot. I've learned a lot of stuff in the program.
Well, a few of the things I've learned in the program, I'm getting more practice in with doing drywall and light construction, things like that. I've been following around the electrician we've had and learning a little bit about that as well. Me personally, I've always been in kitchens my entire life. I probably will still do that past this, but as of right now, me and Rupert have actually discussed me sticking around for quite a while and helping him run this program. Help mentor the young ones coming in like Bryce.
The new place, we've been working for the last few years on this place. This is next door to our office. We're bringing a 115-year-old building back. Thousands of hours on this brick wall, thousands of hours on this original floor. 7 layers were on this floor. We're creating the Community Empowerment Center using this old building that sat abandoned for 20 years before we got our hands on it, to create the center where you can get yourself out of the system and learn how to get that vocational training. Once you've got the job, you can get the financial training to create financial literacy. You're going to learn that here. Continuing education with the Blue River and the adult education here. You're going to be able to take continuing education, get your degrees and your certifications through us, all free. As long as you're willing to help yourself, this building, this Community Empowerment Center is going to be there for you. And we want to show how every community across the country should have 2 or 3 of these working for us all.